Hello everybody and welcome back to Stargrinding with Remblob. Sorry, I'm adjusting audio stuff real quick. Fate Samurai Remnant. Oh my god, I love a Fate. I'm such a Fate fan. Anyways, Ace Attorney, that's actually kind of interesting, but I'm not even supposed to actually be in display capture right now. You should not have seen that. But anyways, I did allude. Okay, there we go. I did allude to a silly episode that would supposedly have been this one, but I have not done the actions required to make the silly episode. The silly goofy episode. I mean, we could still have a very silly and goofy time here, right now, right here, right now. But I don't have it. I guess, okay, as an apology for not making the silly goofy episode, I guess I can have a hint. I have a hint for you. Tells you nothing. Tells you absolutely nothing about what's gonna happen at next episode. But anyway, if you can guess what that is in the comments, then you get like a shout out or whatever. I don't know. How do you do like YouTuber stuff again? I don't know. I know it's like one of my dreams or whatever, but like, how do you do it? How do you do it to men? I don't understand. 354. We're playing some old ass levels today. Okay. But I don't know, I just want to record today and I haven't recorded in a while. I haven't recorded in like another couple weeks? A week? I don't know. How does time work again? It's been like a week to 2 weeks probably. That's kind of the goal for how often I want to record. What do I want to talk about today? I mean, there's a big thing I want to talk about today, which is the Elden Ring DLC. I started playing the Elden Ring DLC about I don't even know. I don't know how time works anymore, man. I truly have no idea how time works. But I started the Elden Ring DLC. I'm streaming it. I figured out multi-streaming to stream it so that I could. Okay, I'm not gonna say. I was gonna say to if motivation and inspiration strikes me to when I'm done with the playthrough of the Elden Ring DLC make like a huge video. I'm gonna say that's not gonna happen so that no expectations are ever set at all about content in the future. But it was something that I've wanted to do. I've wanted to like tackle on like a huge project for like a while because I've never really done that before. I've never really like committed to a big project that actually felt like I was doing like work, you know? Like obviously like making videos is not work. But like I've kind of wanted to like do something that like a grind kind of thing where it's like the feeling of that's cool. The feeling of doing a little bit of something every day and then like to have that feeling of like finally finishing a thing. That's something that I think would be really cool and really fulfilling for me. But at the same time, I'm kind of grappling with the thing of like, do I actually want to do a big project or do I just like the idea of doing a big project more than I would like actually doing the big project? It's kind of that little dilemma. I think it would be cool. I think it would be really cool to like do like a big a big video that I put a lot of time and effort into, because I do like making videos. So it's like, and I like the feeling that I get when I like work on a video and I finally like finish editing it and I make a thumbnail and I publish it to YouTube and then people watch it and it's like, oh, that's a cool feeling. But when it comes to something like really big, there's always the fear of like putting a lot of effort into something and then just giving up on it. Which I've done many times, if you count like things in video games like Extreme Demons and like Celeste Goldens and like that kind of thing. But like I've never really done something where it's like you make consistent progress every day. Because like with Celeste Goldens and with like Geometry Dash level completions, progress fluctuates a lot, and that can be really demotivating. But I think working on something a little bit every day and then finally having it finish is something I've never really done before. And I think it would be really cool. And like, I know the only way to find out if I would like it is to try. And like, it's one of those things where like, you know it in your mind and you know it rationally, but like emotionally you're still like, ugh, I don't wanna. That sounds like a lot of work. I don't wanna. But like recently I've been trying to like do more things that initially in my brain I'm like, I don't really want to do it. Like doing things that are uncomfortable for me, like like even just like small things, like if there's like a task at work that I don't want to do and like on another day would be not done because I want to be lazy and not do any work, like things like that, where I've just been trying to try like nailing it into my brain that some things you just have to do, but that doesn't really apply to things that I want to do that I don't have to. So it's just like taking that next step. Part of it, I guess talking about like this stuff makes me uncomfortable, so I should do it, but it's a little bit like just like mental like blockages and from like depression and just like I don't want to really do anything. Yeah, this is good. I'm doing the thing that I talked about wanting to do more. Because it's something that ideally wouldn't really happen, because my brain would just be like, oh, I want to do something, so let's do it. But like even at like every little struggle, like even my brain has gotten to a point where it's like it's gotten too comfortable just doing whatever and I haven't really challenged myself in a while with anything, even like games. Like the last thing that I did was like really hard, that was like hard for me, was I guess getting beating all the maps in CSR in the first like side of CSR. Like that's, and I don't know if I've ever talked about CSR on Stargrinding, like really, but it's like a Celeste thing where there's just like a bunch of maps that range from like beginner difficulty to like really hard Grandmaster difficulty, it would be called. And I beat every map on that sheet, and it was really cool. And I guess it is an example of a big project that you like continuously work on and continuously make progress on until you eventually do it. But like that's also like a gaming thing where it's like I just enjoyed most of it, and like only gaming has this grip on me where it's like I do things that I don't really want to do, that are uncomfortable, because there were some truly ass maps in that sheet, but like I was able to just push through it and eventually do it, and that felt really good. It felt really good to do that, and it was the same with Strawberry Jam too, like beating Strawberry Jam. Like it's a really cool feeling that I would like to recreate in my like actual real life. And I realized that making a big video isn't real life necessarily. It's still very much an online thing, but it's more something that I wouldn't just like. It's hard to explain because it's like I don't know if I do it for, I don't know where this really even comes from, because I know I've talked about like, oh, it's like a pipe dream of mine to become like an actual like content creator and streamer and like be like entertaining for people and stuff. But like the reason why I have that it goes deeper than it's fun and I like doing it. It's become something that I actually like want to do. It's like what coding is for me. Like I think it's fun, but dude, what is that? Why am I dying there? Like it's fun, but the reason why I want to do it, and like it is because it's fun, but it like flips a switch in me, or like it brings me like more than just like dopamine, you know. It brings me like a sense of self-satisfaction, which that's really why I want to be like a streamer or a content creator. It's not only fun, it like brings like a sense of fulfillment, which I guess I did kind of talk about. But like and like that that sense of fulfillment kind of turns into drive to actually do it. and it's different from like game projects, because playing games like just on my own, and I recognize that I did make content out of like Strawberry Jam, kind of. But like it's I don't know, it's different. It's different because it was just like streaming, because streaming is like the bare minimum kind of like online content, at least how I do it. Streaming is kind of just like the bare minimum of like content creation, and the real work and effort goes into actually editing videos and making things that I'm happy with, you know? Like, the artistic fulfillment isn't achieved just by going live. Although it kind of is. Like, sometimes I end a stream and I'm like, that was a good stream. I was funny. I had fun. I was on the entire time. But still. Like, I don't know. I think it's really interesting. I also kind of like got lost in this current topic that I'm talking about right now and forgot what the main idea of what I was saying was. But that's why, that's why I kind of view like game projects and like something like making a video, or like if I can attribute it to coding, like making my own game or something like that, which isn't something I've ever tried. I should, because I think that would be cool too. It's just like, I think I would like to try and do something that makes me fulfilled. I guess it is kind of like being fulfilled artistically. But okay, let me reset. Okay. Because I've kind of just like been rambling a little bit. It's kind of like all been about a main idea, but I've kind of like gotten lost in like everything, I guess. Doing things. Okay, I was talking about like doing things that are uncomfortable. I was talking about like the last time I really did that was with games, and the only reason why I was able to do it with games is because it's fun. I really just like completely lost the main idea of what I was talking about. This is kind of crazy. Like, I know I probably, I don't know for sure yet, but I know I probably have ADHD, but it's never been like, it's never gotten me like this lost. So I might need a moment. Maybe I can just like switch the topic entirely. Oh yeah. The reason why I'm talking about this is because I was like, oh, I'm playing the Elden Ring DLC, and I might make a massive video about it. And then I was like, oh, I'm not promising anything, so it's like, and here's why, and like how I've wanted to make a big project for a while, but like depression and stuff prevents me from really doing things that are uncomfortable for me. And I'm slowly trying to fix that by like doing things that are uncomfortable for me, like trying out a new job at the bakery, which has actually been like really fulfilling. I've been really liking working at the bakery. Today actually I spent my whole 4-hour shift on just making like a batch of muffins. And I know you're probably like, how? My boss was too. Because at the end of my shift, she was like, okay, so tomorrow we're gonna have to work on our speed. We're gonna have to work on our speed because I actually had some more stuff for you to do after you finished this batch of muffins, but you took your whole shift to make them. So I got a little bit of a talking to there. But yeah, I was not being lazy, is what I'll say. Because I had to make like a batch of like 100 muffins, and like there was a lot of ingredients to measure out. And with measuring out large quantities of ingredients, you have to like do a bunch of stuff with like a bunch of different like mixing bowls, and like I had to sift all my ingredients, which took a while. Like I have to like make sure to, and there was like a lot of instructions, so like I was not being lazy. I was just being slow, and like I do a thing where I which I should stop, is where I really just try to figure stuff out myself instead of just asking for help. Part of it is because I do want to figure it out myself, but part of it is because I'm scared of looking like an idiot and asking a bunch of questions, which I need to work on. It's something that I'm uncomfortable with that I want to work on later. But yeah, I really like bakery. Like, I think a lot of people, like, I talked about how there were people that I worked with that have done bakery that hated it. And it's probably because of stuff like that. Because if they were... I feel like the people that I work with, if they were told that they need to work on their speed and that they were slow, then they would like complain about that to their friends later. But I think that's I get told that I'm slow, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta lock in tomorrow. I gotta lock in tomorrow, and like, yeah, I was slow. Like I did not feel as though I was working fast. Like I just really appreciate having negative feedback for once. Because having like real constructive criticism, that's the shit that makes me a better worker, man. Like I just really like I like a bakery a lot, and that's why it's been very fulfilling for me to do that, because I've wanted to try it for a while, and I'm like, why not? And it's been really cool. So yeah, I would like to do more things that make me uncomfortable. A lot of the things that you kind of think of when you think of do things that are uncomfortable are like uncomfortable socially, like asking for help, or like asking for help a lot, or like being candid about your emotions to your friends, or like something like that. But for me, it's also like what makes me uncomfortable is the idea of doing a lot of work. Like, and that's why I've like procrastinated on homework in the past. That's why I've like turned in assignments late in the past. So it's so yeah, that's like you know what? I think that's gonna be my main New Year's resolution. I know, making a New Year's resolution when January is almost over is a little bit silly, but yeah, actively try and seek out things and like do things that are uncomfortable. Like do things that when you think about doing them you get some emotional resistance, and like work on doing that, because if you can get over that, then I think you can do like amazing things, like a massive video about the Elden Ring DLC, which seamless transition, I have been streaming it over the past few days and it's been really cool. It's been really cool. I don't think it's too hard yet. I don't know if I don't think I will think it's too hard unless like the final boss is insane, which I've heard it is. But so far it's been awesome. Like it recaptures the feeling that I got when I first played the base game, where it's just like a feeling of wonder at the world and like how cool environments and cool views, and like the feeling of accomplishment upon beating a really hard boss. Like it's been awesome. I've really liked it, and if I really like the DLC all the way through, which I think I will unless I like rage quit or something. If I like the DLC, which I think I will, Elden Ring could maybe be like, it could be tied with Celeste and Outer Wilds for my favorite game of all time. The two-way tie might become a three-way tie, because it's like really good. It's so good, because the base game is already like 4th or 5th place for me, and if the DLC, which is supposedly also, if you can get through it, the best part of Elden Ring, it's like it might usurp Hollow Knight and maybe even Outer Wilds, which is kind of crazy to say. I don't know if it'll reach that high. I can definitely see it usurping Hollow Knight though. I can definitely see it usurping Hollow Knight, because it hasn't yet. But yeah, DLC is great. I've played it for around like 10 hours, I think, and I would say I don't know, like 40% of the way through. It's hard because like I'm probably like a good chunk of the way through experiencing all the content in the game, but I think I'm still early game in terms of the main quest, because I only beat the second boss. I've only gotten as far as beating the second main boss in the game, I've beaten. Okay, so I've beaten the lion. Spoilers, by the way. Although these will just be words to you if you haven't played Elden Ring at all. I've beaten the lion, and I've beaten Rolana so far. I don't know how many main bosses there are, but that in Elden Ring there's like I don't remember how many main bosses there are. There's probably like 10 if I had to guess. But so in the DLC I'd expect it maybe will be like 6. So I'm like a third of the way through the main quest. But I would say I'm like 40% through my actual experience of the game, because like I'm gonna do more than just the raid quest. I've been exploring like the past 2 streams. So I beat Rolana early on stream 3. And the rest of stream 3 and the entirety of stream 4 have just been exploring. Like, I found, dude, this game is insane because I found a whole new area, and then within that area I found another entire area, and within that area is a small little hole in the ground that leads to a massive like dungeon that's like it's the fissure. It's called the fissure, and it's like a massive hole in the ground that you can just find. It's like a little hole in the ground that ends up being absolutely massive. And there's just so much I haven't explored yet. That's probably available to me and not locked behind the main quest. Like, it's a beautiful game. I love this game so much. I love Elden Ring so much. And like, I've been really excited to, once I finish the DLC, watch a bunch of people's videos about it, because I know Ludwig did a video on the DLC. And I know, like, I kind of want to watch other like streamers and other like VTubers play through the DLC as well. So I'm like kind of fully Elden Ring filled right now. It's Elden Ring summer all over again, except it's winter this time. Yeah, Elden Ring is just like insane. I love it a lot. And like, yeah, I was gonna mention this. One of my recent like favorite videos I've ever seen, that I've actually like gave a like, because how my system works for liking videos is I only give videos likes that I think are like really good. Like they're like 10 out of 10 videos. What? Yeah, I only like videos that I'm like, oh my god, that was like an insane video. I love that video. I'm gonna like come back and revisit parts of it. One of those videos was two Scottish idiots play through Elden Ring in first person. It's like an hour and a half video, and it's just beautiful. I like it's a perfect balance of like they're really funny because they're Scottish. They're really funny because they're Scottish, and they also, you can tell they really love the game as well, because they just take time to like appreciate the game. Also, it's not just like, oh, highlights of boss 1, boom, highlights of boss 2, ooh, highlights of boss 3. Like it takes the time to appreciate the world as well, and like it's like the type of video that I want to make. Like I really like the chill highlights of like a super long video of like chill highlights of people playing through a game. I really like those types of videos. And they executed that video perfectly. And they have a massive video about them playing through the DLC, and then they have another massive video of them playing through the DLC in first person. So I'm looking forward to eating very good when it comes to content once I finish the DLC. Because yeah, I'm just really excited. I think I'm gonna have a great time watching all the content from people about the DLC. And there's a guy that does like statistical analysis videos of various streamers' performances in the DLC bosses. And I watched the one for the lion, and I watched the one for Lana, and they're doing videos for all the other bosses too, all the other main bosses that people typically struggle with. And I'm looking forward to beating the game so I can watch more of those videos, because they're really good and they're really interesting. Elden Ring, and like I'm just dude, I'm gonna be actually like holed up in my room once I get my hands on like more Souls games, because I still have the Dark Souls trilogy, I have Bloodborne, I have Sekiro, I have like the Souls-like games that aren't FromSoft, like Lies of P, Black Myth Wukong, there's like the Crab Souls game, like I really like this genre of games, and I think I could be really good at them. So I'm looking forward to seeing if Elden Ring stays #1, because I know it's one of the best. But I know people really like Dark Souls 3. I know people really like Bloodborne. So we'll see. I'm very interested in whether I'll like those games or not. Whether I'll like them more than Elden Ring, because I probably will like them, but I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I'm gonna have a great time. And then once I'm done with all the Souls games, I'm gonna feel so empty inside. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. But then Hollow Knight Silk Song will have come out by then. So you know, I'll have I'll still have some sustenance after I finish all of it. Oh man. April 2nd. Mark your calendars. Hopefully something will happen. Some news will be received. What else? What else have I been up to recently? This is kind of old at this point, but I haven't talked about this yet. I replayed Outer Wilds earlier this month, and you might be thinking, you replayed Outer Wilds? What? Why? You already know the puzzle and like how to solve the game instantly, so like what's the point? Well, one of the reasons is because I kind of want to get all achievements. That's one of the reasons, but also it wasn't really a thing where I wanted to. I just kind of like, it was kind of spur of the moment. You piece of shit. It was kind of spur of the moment, like, oh, let's just load up our worlds and like fly around, because it is fun to fly around in the ship. But I also played it in a way, I also like played it as if I hadn't, like I didn't know how to beat it. So like I picked like a planet to start on, and then I was like, okay, let's explore this planet, because like there's also like the lore and stuff that like I didn't know exactly, remember exactly what happens and everything. And yeah, so I'm like, okay, it's kind of hard to explain this without spoiling it. Like, I know how everything relates to each other, so it's like, okay, so I have this clue, so I'll go here, and then I'll explore all of this area, and oh, how do I get into this area? Like, I don't know. Like I guess pretending in my mind that I don't know, and like only going to that area after you find out the information required to get there, you know? It's, and like, it's, the way I kind of think of it is it's kind of like rereading a book you really like, or like rewatching a movie you really like, because like you know how it ends, right? But like reading it, oh god damn it, you know how it ends, but like rereading it, you still like, you don't remember like everything, and also you can like experience it again and like maybe pick up on some details that you hadn't before. It's kind of like rereading a book, or like rewatching a movie or a show that you really like. And the cool thing about Outer Wilds is it's completely open world, and you can do anything at any time. So like, with how I played it, I really enjoyed like playing it in a new way, where like in a different order, I guess, than how I played it the first time. Because like you can go to completely different planets. Like most people I would say most people, most playthroughs I've seen, they start by either exploring Timber Hearth, which is like the Earth. It's like the world, the planet you start on, and then they go to like the moon, and then they go to like Brittle Hollow, which is like another one of the planets. But like I could like imagine myself as somebody that's interested in the Hourglass Twins and just goes there for the first time, and then like, oh, what if they find the ruins on the South Pole of Ember Twin first? And then like how I like to see how it gives me like a better appreciation of how the devs put it all together, because wherever you go gives you clues for other places, and like it doesn't matter what order you discover everything in, because everything like ties into each other, and it's like such a good and well-made world where everything makes sense. And so you can, whether you start in Ember Twin or you start in Dark Bramble, whatever you find, you can like piece everything together eventually. And like there's like it's almost in a weird way, Outer Wilds is almost like infinitely replayable if you think of it in this way, because there's infinite starting points, and because of that, well, there's not infinite starting points, but like there's like infinite ways to experience how someone would go through the game, because like everyone's Outer Wilds playthrough is completely different. Everyone does completely different things, and that's what makes the game beautiful. So like in a way, it's because it's almost like, because a lot of what people do, me included, is when they finish Outer Wilds, they're like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is like one of the best video games I've ever played ever. They play the DLC and it's like, oh my god, it's even better than the base game. But then they have a hole in their heart afterwards. They have a hollow heart. Poor Robinson reference. And so they go seek out other people's playthroughs, and they relive their first experience of playing Outer Wilds through the person playing it. And because it's different, it's likely very different from how they played it, it's still kind of new. Like, it's it's both a game you can only really experience once, but it's also infinitely experienceable. Is that a word? It's all because of all the different ways that you can come to the same conclusion. And that discovery for me was really cool. I thought, like, experiencing the game like that, I thought it was really fun. And maybe in another year, I'll load back into the game, start a new expedition, and then just like go off to wherever. And like this is what your favorite game of all time gets you to talk about. It gets the yap juices flowing. If you mention Outer Wilds, if you mention Elden Ring, if you mention Celeste, if you mention like Hollow Knight, oh my god, I could make like multiple episodes on each of the games. Each of those games, I could. it gets the yap juices flowing. You know, I really like. I really like thinking about them. I really like talking about them. Mostly to myself, but I should work on talking and raving about stuff to other people. Okay, doing things that are uncomfortable. Oh, the tie into the point at the beginning of the episode. Absolute cinema. But yeah, I've had a good time recording this. I actually feel pretty good about this episode. If I can just like quickly blow my own horn, like quick. Yeah, I felt good about this episode. That was a really good time. Cause okay, little secret. The reason, one of the reasons why I'm recording this right now, I checked out cause I've talked about wanting to do like VOD review. I looked and like listened to like 5 minutes each of the Sonic episode and the one I last recorded, and I'm like, God damn, this is boring. So I kind of wanted to amp up the energy a little bit and like be actually coherent and actually like focused on topic and consistently talking the entire time. So I think at least I feel as though I've completed the goal. I don't know if I actually did. I might rewatch this in a few days and be like, oh, this is still boring. But you know what? We live and we learn. And then we die. But the fact that we die is the reason why learning is so beautiful. Anyways, goodbye on that philosophical quote. Goodbye. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, and evening. I've been Remblob, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Bye 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 bye.